he told me very early in life, don't think of me, be a first-rate Parikshit Sahni, don't be a third-rate Balraj Sahni, don't copy me. And be yourself. I have not ever taken acting as seriously as he did.
Hello, welcome to Outlook Bibliophile. Today we have veteran actor Parikshit Sahni with us, who has come out with a riveting biography of his father, the late Balraj Sahni, the iconic actor. Sir, when this idea of writing a biography of father occurred to you?
Well, it happened many years ago, when there was another editor in Delhi, some lady, who said you must write about your dad, and she made even a contract, but I couldn't do it. It is only about a year and a half ago when my friend Ali Peter John, he's a journalist, he said that I have read your articles and your short story in the Illustrated Weekly of India long ago, and you must write about your dad. So I said, yeah, it's not possible, I can't do it, I don't have the time, but he kept insisting, and I decided to go ahead and do it. And then, of course, there was a lady called Madam Harshi Syal Gill from LA. She's an old friend, her brother is a friend of mine, Dr. Syal. These two helped me a lot in writing the book. They helped me because she's an author. So that's how it started.
So, Non-Conformist Memoirs of My Father. I have gone through the book, and what is remarkable about the book, that is a very honest account of the man behind the great actor. It lays bare a doting father, a loving husband, a great friend, and all that beneath the exterior of the actor. But it must have been very tough for you as a son to write an honest biography, to be objective about your own dad. Was it difficult for a writer?
It was difficult. It was difficult because I had to resurrect a lot of memories. He died many years ago, 1973, more than 40 years ago. But once I had started thinking, it all came back, And the more I thought about it, the clearer the picture became. And all the moments I had spent with him. And it was a labor of love, actually. It was difficult. All writing is difficult. But it was a kind of a very exciting and like a catharsis. It was very nice.
Because on many occasions you must have faced this dilemma, whether as a son you should write something about him which was not very, charitable or something like that.
I don't think I've written anything that is uncharitable in the book.
Yeah, but exactly like the way he was.
Yeah, but there's no point in writing if you're not being truthful, yeah. Mm-hmm. So you have to be truthful. So I tried to be as true as possible to my memories.
That is remarkable.
I didn't want to glorify the man.
Right.
Because he was, as it is, a very great, great, great man.
Mm-hmm.
But show a side of him which was very human. Mm-hmm. That was the idea.
And you have completely succeeded as a writer in projecting him the way he was. You did not try to project him as a demigod.
Thanks a lot for saying that. I tried to be as objective as possible. Yeah.
Amitabh Bachchan, in the foreword to this book, has written that when he set out to begin his journey in Bollywood, his father, the great Harivansh Rai Bachchan, advised him to be like Balraj Sahni. He said that he's in the industry and yet not in it. What exactly did he mean by that, sir?
By that he meant the simple thing, like not being a non-conformist. He lived as he wished. He didn't become a part of the glamour world. He was a Marxist. He believed in simple living, high thinking. He was an intellectual. He was a writer. He had done his MA from Government College Lahore. He had lived with Gurudev, Tagore,
in Shantiniketan.
He had lived with Gandhiji in Sevagram. He had spent 4 or 5 years in England in the BBC. So he was a very well-read and rounded personality. He didn't make the film filming his sole purpose in life. He wanted to master the craft, he did that. But he was he didn't conform to the film industry's norms. He did what he felt like.
He has given remarkable films like from Do Bigha Zameen to Seema to
Garm Hawa.
Kabliwala, Waqt,
Garm Hawa.
up to his swan song Garm Hawa. But while reading the book, one gets the feeling that he sometimes felt that he was given a raw deal in the industry. Do you think that he was not given the due during his lifetime, given his
I've written about that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they didn't take him that seriously. Because he didn't conform. He didn't go around in big cars and wear swanky suits or attend parties and things. He lived on his own terms, yeah. So that's why he was somewhere down the line, and he didn't go in for publicity, or he didn't want any publicity. So many people, sort of criticize him for that. I've written in my book that one writer, great writer, a friend of mine, said he's a fraud. But I don't know why he said it. But after he died, slowly his fame has grown. People have come to realize that he was far ahead of his time as far as acting goes, and he was.
That's true, because Javed Akhtar of all people has been quoted as saying that he ranks among the top 3 stars of all times, along with Dilip Kumar and Amitabh Bachchan.
Yeah.
So with that kind of cult, but he was a Marxist, confirmed Marxist all his life.
Yeah.
Do you think that his political belief, because he was in Marxist when country was ruled by a different political party, so he was kind of anti-establishment and all. So did political beliefs of an actor affect his career in any way?
Absolutely.
Even in those days?
Yeah, listen, an actor has to do what he's asked to do. I mean, if he played Do Bigha Zameen, the role of a poor peasant, he also played in a movie called, he played a very rich man in other films. What was the name of that film? In let's say,
Waqt.
Not Waqt, he played a very poor man. But Ek Phool Do Mali,
Yeah.
he was a very
That
rich
was
man.
called into, yeah.
Talash, he was played a
Talash.
billionaire.
Mhm.
So his job as an actor is to metamorphose himself. But in real life, his sympathies were with the common man.
True.
Yeah.
True. So the book also portrays him to be a quintessential family man. He had the kind of bond he had with you.
Yeah.
You used to go on trips together, adventurous trips together.
Yeah.
You used to swim together in the sea.
Yeah.
And you dive deep into the frozen lakes in Kashmir and all that.
Yeah.
So that bonding, he also had that kind of bonding with the rest of the family.
Yes, he was a family man. He was a man who loved love was his basic tenet. And he loved every member of the family, and he actually kept the family, he bound the family together in many ways,
But you have also mentioned that you shared a kind of stormy relationship.
Yeah, when I was going in, you see, adolescence, you're a rebel, every young man is, And I blamed him for not living with me for very long. I was brought up in boarding schools,
True.
which ultimately proved a very strong point. He didn't tell me, but he felt that I should get well educated first and then come into the film industry, which was absolutely right. Because most of the star sons, when they live under the shadow of their, star father, they get quite spoiled.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a chance because I lived in boarding schools and then went to Europe for studies and all that, and went to St. Stephen's, one of the best colleges in India. So he insisted that I get good education. Because of that I've written the book.
True.
Otherwise I wouldn't have.
Right. And you spent most of your childhood with your uncle, the great Vishnu
Not most
Sahni,
of
for some years.
Major portion of my childhood was Bhishamji.
Vishnu.
Bhisham Sahni Sahib, who is himself a very great writer.
Right, he wrote Tamas and also.
Yeah. Tamas, every book of his is excellent. He's considered one of the best writers.
What kind of relationship both these brothers had?
Oh, they were like buddies, like very close friends who stood by each other. They loved each other very, 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 very much. I've written an article, I've written a chapter on the brothers. As a brother, he was amazing. They were like friends. I mean, he didn't behave like an elder. They discussed things, they sat together. It was fantastic just to work them together.
You went to Moscow to apparently study direction and screenwriting.
Yeah.
But when you came back, you suddenly found yourself in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Because do you think that being son of the great Balraj Sahni, it was predestined, that everybody wanted you to be an actor?
Yeah, it looks like it. That's it. That looks like it.
And was it difficult, because everybody must have expected to be chip of the old block, to live up to the standard of being
Yeah.
So were you any kind of pressure that time?
Yeah, I was under no pressure because he told me very early in life, don't think of me, be a first-rate Parikshit Sahni, don't be a third-rate Balraj Sahni, don't copy me. And be yourself. I have not ever taken acting as seriously as he did. My main excitement, my main, let's say, my most lovable job is writing.
True.
So I wrote a lot of scripts. I had my own banner called Balraj Sahni Productions, and wrote a couple of scripts for some TV serials, and I enjoyed that. But acting is okay, but I can't, I don't take it as, it comes to me quite easily because I was with that on the stage for many, many years. But then it's not the be all and the end all for me, I've never aspired to be a big star or anything.
But you started off very well. Your first film, Anokhi Raat.
Yeah. After that, after he died in 73, there was a big downfall.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what to do. I was given roles of a hero, and I was not very successful.
Maybe you were not focused at that time. Because
I didn't felt I had been educated in Europe, and I didn't feel at ease with this sort of Hindi cinema at that time. It's different now. Now they have gone way ahead. So that time I was ill at ease, I said, what the hell am I doing? Singing songs and all that. Not my cup of tea.
So by heart you were not into
No,
this
I was
kind
not
of.
into it. I was not into it.
You never you wanted to become a director and writer.
I did. I still do. But then suddenly the roles, as I grew older, they started getting the character roles. That became very interesting for me.
And you changed your name also with Kabhi Kabhi, I think.
That was because after he died, before he died, he had said, "Pata nahi tu apna naam kyun badal diya tune yaar." So after he died, I said, "Chalo bhai, jaise daddy ki marzi thi, keep the name he gave me," and that's what he felt like it.
But you have had a remarkable career. You have been very prolific after that. After 1976, you were in Desh Premi, you were in Duniadari, you did Tapasya before that.
Yeah.
So all those movies, and one good thing about that, you carved a niche for yourself. You grew out of the shadow of your father and had your style of your own.
I don't know. I have done, when he told me, give your best in every, whatever you do it to the best of your ability. And be honest and believe in what you're doing. That's what I do. But of course, I am not, nobody else can be like him. He's inimitable. He is inimitable. I don't understand as yet how he worked and how he carried even an ordinary scene in which he had no dialogue. He carried it with his performance.
One episode you have remembered, obviously, during the shooting of Udham Singh.
Yeah.
When he forced you to spit on your face after many retakes.
Oh yes, he said you must spit by agony.
And you were in kind of, how would I do it?
I was terribly upset. I said, "Sir, I'm spitting on the ground, I'm spitting on your left or your right. What's written in the script? Get into your role." And he didn't stop. He kept retaking the shot till I had done it.
Till that time, were you aware of kind of commitment he had like that?
Yeah, I was, but I was very upset. And then he took me to the makeup room and he said, "Yeah, dekho, I'm not your father in that shot. You have to forget yourself. You have to remember, make a magic circle and get into the script and into the role. You're my son, you should be honest. If you're still thinking of me as your dad, then you're not doing your job. I'm a villain. You're Udham Singh, I'm a revolutionary, I'm Gandhian. You're a revolutionary. You hate me. And we had a long talk after which you spit on me. Why is it written in the script? So he made me do it. And I felt very, very bad. I went to the makeup room, I almost cried. He came and told me, now you've done a good job. And he explained to me that that's the job of an actor. Be honest, be true. Believe in what you're doing.
And that
Don't act.
That must have left an imprint kind of.
Oh yes, that's why I've written
actor,
about it. That's why I've written about it.
As an actor.
Yeah.
Sir, this book is replete of many interesting episodes and fascinating stories about, not about your father only, but also about your own career.
Yeah,
You have
man,
talked
I wrote this book wrote itself. I didn't plan it out. Jaise aise aata raha, I wrote it out, So
There's one
naturally-
episode of your encounter with former President Gyani Jail Singh.
Yeah, I
He
was there.
Part of the delegation led by your
Yeah,
father
that
to
was-
Russia.
my father was with him. They were together.
And he was a small time
yeah,
leader
yeah,
at that
was
time.
nobody at that time.
But your father predicted that he would.
Yes, because he had tremendous. He used to come out with statements that were very, very deep, very profound, full of wisdom. Dad said, यार कभी कभी बात कर जाता है तो ऐसे लगता है कि ये तो बहुत ग्रेट आदमी बनेगा एक दिन. इसमें बड़ा ज्ञान है. तभी ज्ञानी जैल सिंह कहते हैं इसको. ज्ञानी जी थे वो.
And his words became prophetic kind of.
Yes, I remember I was sitting here watching TV was there. I cried in the whole morning. Afternoon when I saw him becoming the president, I said, "Yeah, Daddy ने correct बोला था." And it's so nice to see this gentleman जिनका मैं था interpreter as a student. To see him reach this height was fantastic. I wept. I sat there and I cried.
Even though this book is full of these interesting episodes, there is a feeling as a reader I felt that there are a lot of stories about your own life waiting to be told to readers. Will you plan an autobiography of yourself? Maybe
Well, I don't
sometime in
want to.
future.
My life is not as interesting.
But you have written so many interesting episodes.
Yeah, that I wrote. They are, by the way, they are not the main theme. They happen to be written by the way, leading up to him. But to write an autobiography, he's written a brilliant one. You have to be a great man. Unless the only guy who wrote an autobiography was not a well-known man was Niraj Chaudhary.
True.
He wrote a book called The Autobiography of an Unknown Indian.
True.
But otherwise, who would be interested in my autobiography? Nasir Uddin Shah has written a beautiful autobiography. I've read it. It's very well written.
But that is your perception, but there are many admirers and all.
No, I don't come in that category. I don't think so. Amitabh would write a beautiful autobiography because he's an institution. He's a Mahapurush, if you ask me. I admire him from the bottom of my heart. What a guy he is. He's a tremendous man and what a tremendous actor.
And it is only in the fitness of the things that he not only wrote the foreword but also released the book on Saturday.
Yeah. The release was successful because of him mainly, and he had gone to the wrong place for the launch. He had reached Marine Drive when he rang me up. He said, "यार ये किधर है?" मैंने कहा, "यार ये तो इधर ताज लैंडसन में."
And he had gone to Taj.
He had gone to the NCPA. He had going to the NCPA. And look at the greatness of the man. He could have said, "Sorry, I was not given the right information, so I'm sorry I cannot come." He turned the car and he came almost 20 minutes or half an hour late. But what a great thing he did. Yeah, he's the son of a great man and he's a great himself. And what he has inherited, it shows in his upbringing, in his behavior. Yeah, he's a Mahapurush. I mean, I have worked with him in several films, but I have been completely bowled over by his dedication, determination, and discipline. The three things that should be part of an actor's life. That's what Dad had, Dedication, determination, discipline.
And that's why they reach that kind of.
Yes, that's why he is where he is.
True.
I mean, he's an institution. He's a legend now.
True.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm sure this is a fascinating book and it will be loved by everybody who goes through it.
I hope so.
Thank you very much, sir.
I hope so. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.